So this is very fun and new, exciting, and we sold our place rather quickly. Yes, and I've been wanting to post videos, but sometimes I'm like trying to make too big of a video and explaining Nayeli's condition that she had. And basically, I want to say the root cause of her condition was mold toxicity, and that caused a gluten allergy. Basically, I have a theory on gluten, and I'll briefly explain it here. There's fields and studies, there's fields where they have, where there is a higher fungal load on that field. They register the gluten, they analyze for the gluten content, and they found where there's a high fungal load, there's less gluten in the plants. I theorize that it is possible, and it should be studied. I think it would be a fantastic study to see if the biofilms and colonizations inside of us of fungus, which they are learning more and more, yes, there can be something called a fungal colonization without infection. But the fungal colonization, depending on which variety it is, could make an enzyme, when it identifies gluten has come inside of you, make an enzyme that says digest that gluten. We can't digest gluten, but there are plants, specifically gluten-loving plants, gluten-loving funguses that do know how to digest the gluten. And so I believe that it makes an enzyme or a toxin that degrades the gluten and is toxic to us. And so therefore I believe that where her condition was showing me what was going on inside of her brain to begin with. So taking away the gluten helped her body enough with her genetics enough to detox from some of it and kill some of that fungal infection colonization inside of her. But it was like always surfacey. Now we did another MRI and she had improved, but it wasn't improved like a lot. Even though clinically she was regaining all of her functions and she's acting quite normal, but there was a couple things that I could see that were off. And when I found iodine, when I discovered iodine and started applying iodine and just exploring iodine, that's when she really started to, I feel, she really started to blossom in the way of, like, she used to like sometimes randomly, you know, feel like, and bite her arm. Right, yay? Sometimes you felt weird in your arm and you bit at your arm. And after iodine, she completely stopped doing that. I still believe that she has, and a little bit, I still believe that she has some colonization in her body. I do, I know, I believe that I do. But living in the house that we were at, there was some mold on the ceiling. And that mold, I wasn't aware that it was so dangerous for us. It wasn't black mold, it was aspergillus mold. And we remediated that house extremely well. We ripped out carpet, we sucked out all the insulation. Inside that roof of the house, the insulation was stuffed in the faucets, faucets, right? That are supposed to circulate air into the attic and go out. Well, it wasn't ventilated very well. There was too few vents and they were installed improperly, and they weren't getting that circulation because they had stuffed insulation inside those faucets that are supposed to be meant to breathe. What a disaster. Okay. And our sump pump downstairs, now our basement never flooded, but our sump pump downstairs wasn't working properly, and it was allowing moisture in the cement foundation to give off enough humidity for aspergillus to grow, aspergillus mold. it can look like dust. It can look like dust on cabinets, white dust. I remember downstairs cleaning off the cabinets, and I was like, man, this white dust, it keeps coming back. Like, I dust it, and then I'm like, it's not like there's lots of movement down here. I dust it again. I'm like, man, it's like coming back. There was 10 feet of cabinets, and we took those all out and burnt them. And we used air scrubbers, well, we used the air purifiers, and we took out the carpet, and we did everything. And man, what a relief. After we had moved out of the house to do those things, and then we moved back in. We had not put new carpet in, we had torn the carpet out. But what a breath of fresh air. Like, it was dramatically, like, I just knew psychologically too that it was different, but also like just feeling it inside there, it was different. Like the air was clean, and the you know, when we went away for a vacation, if there's a good indication that you have a issue, if you go away for vacation for a couple you know, a few days or a week, and you come home and your house hasn't been aired out, and there's a stench, there's a smelly. You don't want that in a house. You don't want that house to smell like anything, basically. And if you have to use a bunch of air fresheners in your home that are toxic to you, they make you have elevated estrogen in your body because of the xenoestrogens in them, as well as mold toxicity makes your estrogen elevated. So if you go to the doctor and you say, well, you just don't have a good ratio of estrogen and progesterone, and they give you progesterone to get you up, you have an issue with possibly mold or some of those xenoestrogens that are mimicking estrogen in your body. That's a big deal. That's a big deal because a lot of cancers are, like breast cancer and prostate cancer, are estrogen loving. But a lot of these estrogen loving things in my worldview now are like, hello, we have a mold problem going on inside the body. Colonization from birth even. Your baby can get colonized with fungus since birth, and that's why I believe she was 2 weeks premature, 2.5 weeks premature. She was born, I believe, with it, and she later was affected furthermore with the environment that she had. I have a lot to say on those subjects. I'm just really excited. I knew I'm not going to leave my house the way without like remediating it well. And I'm like, no, people wouldn't have done the job that we did, but it's because I know what is important to get done for that specific purpose. And so I'm really happy about handing it off to the new owners, and I just feel like they have a wonderful home to call home. And we had found land. I wanted to during my time that just everything in the thick of things, I was like, I would really love to be in the woods. And even though there's more fungus in the woods because of this and that, but it's environment. Like, if we support our immune system, if we support our gut, K2 is important for thick veins and thick gut lining, but flexible, yet flexible. So if we support our immune system by not giving it toxins and junk, then we can start to build our body's mechanisms. I see right here, this was my latest detox symptom. I had a terrible candida, like just candida coming out of me. Some people be like, oh, that's just dry skin. No, it was candida pushing out of me without being able to test for it. I just know that it was candida. I also want to tell you about a surgery that I'm going to be doing coming up. I had breast implants when I was like 22, and those can increase your hypothyroid increase your risk for hypothyroid by 10%. Any prosthetic in your body can form biofilms around them or scar tissue, and those mycotoxins and mold fungus colonies, they like to attach to scar tissue, and they like to be on prosthetics. So anything in your body can create that biofilm that's not you, that isn't you. So I'm going to get them explanted, and I'll walk through that with you. But we have supported I have supported my immune system a lot with iodine consumption. I consume iodine, and I have Lugos iodine, and I have healed myself in different ways. Praise Jesus. Thank you, God. And I am excited about the future of what this will. I want to help heal people. I want to help encourage people, and I don't know if I need to go to school to become a doctor or not. I mean, will I really enjoy learning about which drugs can affect what people different ways? I don't know. I think anything could be helpful. But also to garden and to build up my land, because I can use iodine with my plants, and boron specifically also. I love boron and iodine. I take borax actually, and for myself only right now. I put a little bit in the bathwater of the kids sometimes, but anyway, and the doctor said that was okay. I just really want to support people, and boron is helpful for your parathyroid, and I could go on, and I won't take your time, but this is a huge journey, and I hope you benefit from it. Thank you.